Hi, is this, Andres? Let me know if I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. The stream is starting, we're just waiting for Gabby. So just, hang tight before, we begin. Hey,
Hello,
Gabby!
hello.
Yeah, you may want to turn on a light there. Alright,
Yeah, how's
so,
that?
hey, what's up? So, finally here to discuss the new, Star vs. Forces of Evil episodes. We apologize that we couldn't get
Woo!
here sooner. Um, let's see. Somebody in my comment section is already going off. Kelko is forced. Tom Star is a walking dead ship, and Starco needs to happen. It has to be said, and it was. We'll get into
Oh my
like our
god.
thoughts on all the shipping as we go along, because if we start, talking about like one thing right now, it's just gonna get super super messy. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
true, that's true. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Quick little note here. I'm actually using my new mic.
Mm-hmm.
How does it sound all right?
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds
Oh,
great.
awesome. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Okay.
I
So
I'm not coming out of like some cheapy mic anymore, guys. Yay. And I have headphones, so I'm all good. Woo!
much better quality than my cruddy Sony headphones, I might
Oh,
add.
these were like 30 or maybe even $10 ones that I had lying around actually.
Oh,
They're not
I
they're
see.
not that
So we're
expensive at
kind of on
all.
even ground.
But the mic, can you hear that?
I can't really hear. Is it proof that you could touch it and it's not gonna make like knocking noises?
No,
Huh.
but that's it. You can hear just like how sensitive it is.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
shoot.
I
Yeah,
see.
my mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Hi, Mom. Huh? Sure.
Did you need a minute?
Oh, hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay. Mhm. All right. So, well, wait for Gabby. Um, guys, my sis lately introduced me to the Adult Swim show, the Eric Andre show. It's this kind of parody talk show where this guy Eric Andre goes and does the most like insane things. I mean, I won't talk about it here because he does some really really insane stuff, and I I don't know. I was tempted to do like some kind of really crazy intro where he where I go knocking around things in my room, mess with my curtains, shake my camera, and that kind of thing. Because the developments in these new Star episodes were just so crazy that. But since today, my family's home, I cannot do that, and yeah, if I were to hit my Dank Beats, Eric Andre, get a great show. Yeah, it is. It's a really fun show. I watched a few episodes. I even just love watching just his intros alone. I could watch his intros all day long. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Gabby is back. Gabby is back.
Sorry about that. The little thing that had to be handled quickly. What's going on? What did I walk in on?
But, so in my comment section, Andre here was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Blood Moon Bobby show," because I was talking about Eric Andre, but I don't know, like.
Oh my
The only
God.
thing on my wall is like, you guys see my Starco flag, the one with the red butterfly. You don't want to see me go running like, and then I hit it. It's just like, no, I
And you
can't do.
just rip through it. Just dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Me and my sis, we talked about this idea of doing this kind of parody intro where we have my logo go bouncing around and breaking stuff in my room, and he comes down like
No,
sits down, is
no,
like,
if it's Eric Andre, you got to pull the stunts yourself. That's the whole shock of the thing.
uh huh.
We gotta get you suited up, and we have to get you like one of those like those big flags they have for the football games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did have this idea though, because I have the Star Funko Pops. I have Marco, Butterfly Mode Star, and Regular Star. I had this idea of what if we could have them play like instruments, because you know how Eric Andre he's got this band.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and since I have this Funko Pop of Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls, maybe Milo could do a thing where he beats up this Bill Cipher for Funko. I really like Gravity Falls, but I'm just saying that
No,
Bill
no,
is the
that doesn't mean
villain.
you like Bill Cipher though. Let's clarify that.
Yeah,
If you like Gravity Falls and you know Bill Cipher well enough, then you fear him. He is scary.
yeah. I mean, definitely. It's great that it's a good thing that Stan beat Bill Cipher in the
Unless you're that kind of fan and you think he's sexy, I'm not gonna judge. But
Uh,
okay.
I'm kind of tempted to cosplay as Bipper though. I think that would be kind of funny. Oh, by the
Oh,
way, and
like
for
Dipper or
Andre,
Bipper? Because
uh,
Bipper's pretty cool too.
yeah, and by the way, for Andrea, Power, since he was saying Starco needs to happen,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
I don't know how they've managed to make it stretch out this long in that sense, but
A
there you
lot of
go.
shows manage to make it, go this long. Shows like, Avatar, sort of Danny Phantom. I could
That's
name
true.
plenty
That's
of whether
true.
the romance lasts or it crashes and burns or just doesn't go anywhere.
And then you have Hey Arnold, where
Oh
we were
yes, yes,
waiting
yes,
for
yes,
how
yes.
long?
Mm-hmm.
I stand very. I corrected myself partially along with you, so
Mm-hmm. Right.
don't. Sometimes you should listen to me, guys, and other times you should just completely ignore what comes out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Andre says welcome, Gabby. By the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I'm
Okay.
so happy to finally be on here again. It feels like it's been ages.
Yeah.
Has it been? I have no idea.
If ages means a couple of weeks, which don't
Yes.
worry, we won't, do these hiatuses again. We'll figure out ways to discuss as soon as they come out, especially since, tomorrow is that coronation episode, and a lot of people think,
Oh yeah.
it's gonna get, it's gonna be one of those like really crazy episodes where you'll need your barf bag basically.
I think. Are you gonna have yours, Bobby, at the ready?
I guess. It's funny enough, like, I think, like, I'm supposed to go to this Easter party, and I think my cousin's gonna be there, and she's also into Star, which, by the way, for my cousin,
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah,
so
we reluctantly made this flag.
cute.
Hmm.
The little Tom head is really cute. I love it.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
adorable.
Penny designed it, my sis Penny designed it, based on something they
Oh,
had, in one of the
that's too
children's movies.
cool.
Yeah. By the way, Andre, no, I don't have a link to episodes of the Eric Andre show. How I saw the episodes I did see is you can watch a few of the season 3 episodes on the Adult Swim iPhone and iPad app.
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
mhm.
Sometimes they'll even have premieres on for free. Like
Yeah,
I know they did that for Rick and Morty, and this other show that came out a while back. I really wanted to watch it, but I only got to watch a little bit of it, where it was a stop motion animation show that was really creepy, but it was super awesome.
mm, yeah, classic
I
Adult
think I
Swim.
mentioned it to you too, right, Bobby?
I honestly don't remember the name.
I was like all hyped over it when it was gonna come out. I was like, shoot, this is gonna be tight. And I only
Yeah,
got to watch one episode. It did look really cool though, and I need to remember the name of the show. If anybody knows what show I'm talking about, I don't
yeah,
think you do because I'm pretty vague right now as to detailing what happened in the episodes because I really don't remember. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if anybody knows, just let us know in the live chat. But anyway, we're like 10 minutes in, and we really should be talking about the new episodes. And Gabby, you said you needed to be out of here
Right.
by 5, right?
Apparently six. Six. I
So
can go on.
okay, so
I
we
can
have
go on to
time.
six. Yeah.
Okay,
So we good. We good. Mm.
okay, we good. All right, so let's get started and talk about first episode we left off on was Yada Yada Berries. Do you remember that one, Gabby?
Yeah, I don't remember at all what we thought it was going to be, but I don't think it was what we thought it was going to be at all.
Yeah, we thought like knowing so we thought yada yada berries was gonna be like that kind of thing where the person wouldn't stop talking no matter what you did, and they would just not talk. But just like, no, that's not what.
Oh,
If anything,
right.
it's kind of where why would they call them yada yada berries unless they want the person to just shut up? You know, I guess
Sounds like it originally had a different purpose, but they just ended up changing it for some reason.
yeah,
That's what
because.
I'm thinking.
Mhm. Oh, and speaking of which, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. We are gonna talk about spoilers, especially with episodes like Curse of the Blood Moon and
Oh, heck
Meteor's
yeah.
Lesson. So
Wait, we haven't talked about that yet?
no, I've talked about my thoughts about it, but I never really went into detail.
Oh gosh, this is gonna get good then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which Starco fans, keep up the faith, keep up the faith. I mean, I don't want to get into detail right now since we've got a lot of other episodes to get through, but just know that I personally haven't lost my faith. But anyway,
I'm just here.
but yeah, let's start with yada yada berries. So yeah, so it turns out the yada yada berries, if you eat them, you actually get turned to stone. You know, kind of like the
Yeah, that's a little more
Narnia.
intense. That's a little more intense than we anticipated.
Hmm. Yeah, and the episode is basically just Star Marco going around Uni trying to find, who was the person that, attempted to stone Eclipsa. I mean, she didn't get stoned. They only ended up stoning Manfred because he ate some of the oatmeal that Eclipsa tried to eat, and it turned out somebody sprinkled in the yada yada berries.
He wanted to stick it to her and lick it, didn't he?
Yeah,
That's how I remember. Yeah. Wow, that is karma. That is karma at the highest degree right there.
right. Um, so So yeah, it was honestly just kind of an odd episode with just how, like, if I could just sum it up in terms of, like, I was able to get into the mystery. I was able to just kind of, ask myself, who did it? And they're going around, they're seeing all, these people, including this one character who has this really terrible pink eye and a lot of cats.
Oh God, yeah.
And they do this, they bump into this other person who said, I'm not going to tell you, you could kiss my turns to stone.
Oh, I forgot they did that. They did do that,
Yeah.
huh? Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Though, funny thing, we don't get to actually figure out who did it until a while later, huh? Well, I mean,
Yeah,
we're
but
not going to go
we'll
into
get
that just
into that
yet. We're
later
not going to
on.
get into that just
Yeah,
yet,
we'll
but it's
just we'll
surprising
judge
how
the
long it
episode.
takes.
Yeah, we'll judge the episode as it
Yeah.
is as of now. Like, let's say you've never seen anything else. You've just seen this one episode. Yeah, and then like basically all the citizens of Muni get arrested, and Eclipsa lets them go. It's kind of like I don't like these kind of episodes. I kind of scratch my head with the plot structure. I mean, I know it's supposed to end on a cliffhanger, but something about the way it's written just makes it feel like, oh, that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying, Gabby?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. It was a little more, I don't know how to say it. Like, I guess there wasn't as much energy, but I
Like,
think it was also because they were getting really heavy with the material that they were working with, so it's hard to keep it, that high level of energy.
yeah,
But
I
I thought it
mean,
was still good. I still enjoyed it.
yeah, I mean, it was intriguing. Just I was not really into how they kind of structured the plot. I don't know. It just
It did
kind of
get a
felt
little
like it just
complicated in that
stops.
sense too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like part of it has to be with like the ending of the whole show coming so soon.
Mm-hmm.
More likely than not, they ended up having to condense a lot of the story that they were going to take more time getting through.
Yeah. I don't know. Just maybe if it could have been written out a little bit, and it doesn't just stop. And like, if they could have at least ended on the sense of, we'll find the culprit. We'll optimistically end it, and gives hope. For Eclipse, then I could understand. But Yeah. I mean, I thought it was an okay episode. Just I think the way it could have been written out could have been a little more cleaned up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then next one is Down by the River.
Oh god. Oh god.
The thing about that episode is
Oh.
it's a really crazy, funny episode. Admittedly, Moon kind of acted a little out of character, but I still thought it was quite entertaining. And basically, the premise of the episode is that there is this family that moves near Moon and River. As they said in uh, the Moon Remembers episode, Moon and River are now living in a yurt. They're not going to go live in the monster temple. And this family is. I'm not even sure. Did you find them really obnoxious, Gabby? The
I
Maisleys?
found them more than obnoxious, let me tell you. Every time they came up, until maybe close to the end of the episode, I was just upset. I'm just like, you are not saying that right now.
Yeah.
Please don't. Because it's like you get to meet with that relative that everyone knows just talks really inappropriately,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just get stuck with them for like 10, 15 minutes, and you're like, oh god, not this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in that kind of a case, it's more a case of the Maisleys they're just kind of immature and they're not good listeners. They do things like they
Exactly.
wash their clothes in a river, but all the gunk comes toward Moon and River's side. And then late at night, and this is where things get really like kind of funny, is when they're making a whole ton of noise to scare off this like what was it like a monster they're worried about or something like that.
I don't remember
Yeah.
actually.
And Moon is just like mad. Like she
Yeah, she is upset. That was me
hmm
though, especially when they're talking about like they're starting to bash, like the new ways that the town's being run. I'm like, are you kidding me? No.
hmm
And don't get me wrong, it's not only because I love Eclipsa, because I'll admit I have a bias there, but dear goodness gracious, it's just upsetting, and part of it I think it has to be because you can actually find people talking like this about like real life situations,
hmm
and you think about that and you're just like, why,
To be
though I.
fair, I do kind of get why the Maisleys are upset because the main reason they're kicked out of their home was because now that Eclipsa is queen, the monsters get to move back into their old homes,
Yeah,
even if the humans
yeah,
are already living there. So it's just the
but
Maisleys are now
but
like,
that's the thing, they're like, this is our home, blah blah, we took it. It's like, yeah, you took it. It wasn't originally yours.
yeah,
I'm just like, ugh. Doesn't know how to, where to, what to do with their like anger or their emotions towards something of these situation that's out of their control. They just
hmm
end up pointing it at someone that's just had no fault in it at all, you know. And I guess I have a bit of a soft spot for that. Like I cannot tolerate that very much. Um, at least coming from other people,
hmm
I'm going to say I may or may not have done it myself, but it's just one of those things that when you see happening in these situations, you're just like, can we please not?
hmm
I'm not going to say it was badly done because, in fact, the point that I'm having this strong emotional reaction to it, I think shows a lot as to how genuine the writing is,
hmm
because you will have this kind of reaction when you meet people like that in real life. You're just like, wow, this is so accurate.
Yeah, I think for me, it was just more. I was just so like amazed just how incompetent and even kind of disrespectful the Maisleys were,
Yeah,
and even
yeah.
driving Moon to some really crazy extremes. Like she cooks up these like literally explosive pies that she's thinking of
To
throwing at
throw
the
at
Maisleys. Just
them,
like,
you're
oh
like,
my god, did they
oh god.
break Moon or is this? I don't know. I'm wondering, is this out of character? Because like Moon is like is this kind of like very very kind of serious, serious sort of person. Like, yeah, she can be pissed off, but I never see she wants to go as far as like, I made these pies, and so maybe we could blow this family up.
Well, here's the thing. One, we haven't really seen where her breaking point is, so I guess now we know where her breaking point is.
Hmm.
Also, how much of this kind of mentality does she have to put up with on a daily basis? She
Well,
lives with River.
yeah.
Don't forget that. And then to meet somebody who's like twice as intense as River, you're
Hmm.
just like, oh dear God, no. I'm surprised she didn't break any further. I was like, oh, she's gonna blow.
Did you think she was gonna turn into Eric Andre?
Maybe just go full on out, just like start trying to pummel people,
Hmm.
just like body tackle.
Yeah, it's just yeah, but I mean, okay, you have a point there. But in the end, you do kind of sympathize with the Maisleys when they say, look, we've never had to depend on ourselves before, and we
That
are.
was the point where I'm like, you know what? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. That was something I can sympathize with, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good move because after having characters like that are so obnoxious, and this is why I loved River, despite all of the obnoxious stuff he did.
Hmm.
You have that whole thing where it's like, well, I mean, that they don't know what to do, you know? It's like they gotta learn, and you gotta help them. And River is just like, ah, I kind of want to help him out. That's how I kind of feel about it.
I see. So,
So that was kind of like a redeeming thing as regards to doing the same sort of situation with the Maisleys. I'm like, okay, they're not that bad anymore.
yeah, I mean, I think it's the point that they are redeemable characters.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, all's well that ends well. Speaking of River, I have a kind of looking back, I have a feeling some people, because I know there's people out there that really hate just how
Oh
childish River
yeah.
is. Like I know Steven's one of my cousin, just can't stand River, and I even had to kind of warn her. Yeah, he gets really kind of just stupid in the new episodes. Like, there's that part where it's like, oh, maybe if we eat this, we can be tricked into thinking it's spaghetti. And he's literally teaching the Maisleys how to cook rocks on a grill like they're steak or something.
I can laugh at nearly anything, so.
Hmm. I mean, I see. I'm just saying, like, for people who really find River obnoxious, I'm just, letting you
Oh,
know.
definitely.
Yeah, because like I'm also like a person who can tolerate like super annoying characters. Like there's a few that get under my skin, but most of the time, at their most annoying, I'm talking about characters like Angelica from Rugrats, DW from Harvard. Like those kind of characters, I just kind of clench my teeth, but I don't go bah! Ah!
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Mhm.
I think later we'll get to talk about one of the characters that really got under your skin for a bit.
I
but
know who
but
you're
until
talking.
then, yes, until then.
Yeah. It's not that I know who you're talking about, Gabby. It's not that this character like made me mad or anything. It's just like, pff, oh come on, it's that sort of attitude.
Yeah,
But we'll get to this
yeah,
character later. So anyway,
yeah. Later.
next episode, I believe, is the Ponyhead show.
Oh goodness. Oh gosh. Why?
Yeah, like
It
we.
was absolutely hilarious. Don't get me wrong. But Ponyhead, what are you doing? What
Eh,
are you doing?
I understood the point of the Ponyhead show episode. I just kind of thought the first 2/3 of it was kind of obnoxious, to be
Well,
very
it's
honest.
Ponyhead. How is it not going to be obnoxious?
Well, yeah, but it's just like, this is just her, like, so the idea behind this whole Ponyhead show is they're basically using it to get the audience to like Eclipsa, but
Right, right.
trying to hold back a burp. But it's just like, until like Eclipsa takes the stage, she's just like, chewing the scenery, like metaphorically, but she is just like, just so taking advantage. There's like I specifically remember there's like a scene where um she tries to sing this song and she does it really badly and she's constantly stealing the spotlight. There was supposed to be a cooking segment, cooking with Earth Turd with Marco and Kelly, that doesn't she doesn't even put them on the air, although I will say the
Oh yeah.
interactions and I would say were pretty cool. I know a lot of people, I think Disney XD put up a meme where Marco tells Kelly, "Oh, wrestling is fake," and Kelly is just destroyed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't say that to wrestling fans.
Hmm.
Point number one. You will absolutely upset them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like telling a little kid that the magician's magic tricks aren't real.
Or that Santa
Like low
Claus isn't
key,
real.
everyone knows it, but we don't want to think about it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it was just kind of
uh,
so yeah. I mean, the first two thirds was just kind of a very episode. They did go into, you predicted, Gabby, that the pony heads were gonna try to put a lot of makeup on Eclipsa, and they do kind of touch on how Eclipsa. She even says the line, "I'd rather be hated for who I am than liked for something that I'm not."
that's true. That's
Hmm.
true.
Yeah, and she
And,
does
and I
say,
really enjoy that aspect of Eclipsa, which is part of why I really like her. Because from the beginning, you could kind of tell that she was just most of the time misunderstood.
hmm
And even until now, we have yet to see anything that actually puts her under any kind of bad light. You know, it's just people just misunderstanding where she's coming from.
hmm and that, and also she kind of has a bit of a complicated past.
That is very true. That is
Hmm.
very true.
Yeah, which I imagine we'll get into even more in surviving the spider bites. But as for the Ponyhead show, I think definitely the one thing I think most people can agree on was the best part was Eclipse's song in the episode, which I know gave so many Star fans a lot of feels. Yeah, you like that song, Gabby? You did.
Yes, yes. That was so satisfying. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the
Ah.
kind of touching thing about it was, even though most of the humans didn't like the Pony Itches, there was that one fan who liked the show,
Oh, the
mostly I
little
imagine because of Eclipse's
girl.
song.
My heart. Ah, I loved that part. It made me so happy.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely
uh,
really touching moment. So basically, like, the point I'm getting at is the Pony Itch, it's kind of an obnoxious episode, but it's also kind of a touching episode, I would say.
yeah, and to be fair, I think it really shows Ponyhead's personality
Mm-hmm.
more than anything, and I guess it's a good reminder also as to why we don't focus so much on Ponyhead.
Yeah, and I imagine, well, Star's already a really bubbly character to begin with.
Oh yeah, but Ponyhead is just a completely different animal.
No pun intended. Yeah. All right.
uh,
So next, moving on, surviving the spider bites. Oh, this is
oh, that was dark times, guys. Those were dark
yeah,
times.
big revelation there. Globgore ate King Shastakan, which part of me is like good, cause I mean, not that I think that, like, oh, death is the answer to anything. I'm just saying, cause he traded her out with Festivia, who we find out is Pie Folk. So yeah, as a matter of fact, let me get something.
Oh,
Actually,
what? Are we gonna pull out the book?
not today.
Oh, okay.
But where is? As a matter of fact, like, Shasta can, like, ticks me off to the point where when I was designing the shipping flag for Spider Slime, Which, yes, Princess Penelope Spider-Bite and Slime, they do see each other, and her parents actually approve. In fact, this flag right here that I designed, actually turn this
Oh.
up. I know one of my Twitter followers, Valentina Ruse, stupid glare. I can't. Hold on, let me get a paper version of the flag. Hold on a second.
Okay. Do 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 do
Yes, I
do do do
printed
do
out
do
and
do do
and
do.
pinned a bunch of the star shipping flags that me and my sister designed.
Woo!
In fact, this flag here, no, that's Kelco. Excuse me. This one, the purple, green, and black. The whole reason it starts with black was kind of a reflection of the dark past of the spider bites and Shasta Kid. So yeah,
Oh,
but
nice.
so yeah, that's the really big revelation. It's funny though because in a prior episode, Eclipsa said that Globgor, her monster husband, went vegetarian just for her, but Shasta can.
And to
So
be fair, I mean, I feel like that is a very viable exception.
yeah,
Can we also point out the poor choice that Star made in the entertainment
yes,
that
because
was scheduled for that episode?
because like pretty much every piece of entertainment, like she had this choir and this whole painting. And there was another thing that I can't. What was the other thing, Gabby? There was like a painting, and there was this whole
The
stage
dance?
performance.
Yeah, the stage performance. Okay, there was isn't there a statue?
Yeah, I think so. And
Yeah. And then they did end up showing Globgor still crystallized, but that was for a completely different reason.
like to basically show
Uh,
that hey, we have him in prison. You don't have to worry.
but yeah, so Star was put in charge of the entertainment, and each one of the pieces of entertainment that she picked out, not knowing what they meant, ended up representing part of the dark past that we have just gone over.
Yeah, basically appraising Globgor in some way.
For eating people.
hmm So yeah, but it's definitely a really sort of huge revelation. Oh, and speaking of revelation, Eclipsa wants to have the magic book of spells fixed up, and says that Gloucester could even mend it himself. I can't believe I forgot. I think with the help of like caterpillars or something like that.
Oh
And this
yeah.
kind of gets into how we're still kind of questioning, is Eclipsa, a good character and that kind of thing, because Star technically has that little piece of the book left, and she decides to keep it in hiding, which yeah, I guess it kind of cuts into how the show has a tendency of making big revelations and putting them on the side for now.
Yeah, what I will say from that though is more so questioning whether Eclipse is good or bad. It just shows how, like, even though somebody may bring this up, because if I remember correctly, the reason why Eclipsa wants to fix the magic book of spells is because she wants to see if there's a, a spell that'll decrystallize Globgor.
Was
Did I
it? I
remember
thought it
that
was for
correctly?
another reason.
I thought that was what she wanted to do with the Book of Spells,
Hold on, let
but
me
just
check.
kind of she might have said it for a different reason in front of Star, but I think it would be pretty obvious that's what she wants to do with it.
I have in my notes here that she brings it up because she only knows magic that can help herself. Health, but not the entire kingdom. Like, that was the purpose. Hmm.
That makes sense too. Now, even in both ways, like she still wants to do something good. I mean, ultimately, if it is something like Globgor, the question now becomes, can he be trusted? Not necessarily can Eclipsa be trusted.
hmm
I mean,
And yeah, there was that clip, by the way, of I can't believe we didn't check it out, where we actually see Globgor the first time, and my follower Andre brought this up. He's voiced by this actor named Oh boy, I'm gonna mispronounce his name. I think it's Jaime Camil. Ever heard of him, Gabby?
Jaime. How's the last name spelled?
Camil.
T Tamil.
Camil.
I don't recognize the last name for sure. I mean, Jaime is a bit of a common name, so it's hard
Yeah.
to pinpoint.
Oh, and
But there you go. Thank you. I mean, we could look them up probably if we have time. Let me see. I'm pulling up my web
because
browser.
Valentina was tweeting, and she said
I
that
find I
she
find Jaime Camille.
yeah, and she said that
Oh, okay. Yeah. What did she say?
and Valentina was saying that she knows of him because he was in some Mexican soap operas.
Oh, yeah, yep, that sounds right. Yeah, I'm looking at his picture right now. If you've ever watched Mexican soap operas, well, I'm not too well versed in them. My mom is though. So that's why I recognize this picture.
I
Um,
see.
so
Andre,
what? Wait, how is this guy associated with Star again? Like,
he's gonna play Globgore. Yeah, that's a
what?
yup.
What? What? That's so random. Oh my gosh. I'm for it. I want to see that now. Okay.
Apparently, he
Do you
sings
want me
with
to see if I can
Eclipsa.
show a picture of what he looks like?
I
I got my phone right here. Let me see. Ah, ah, ah. Don't mind me. Na 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 na. We're talking about this guy, right?
is it? Let me see.
Jaime Camil. He's really well known in soap operas. Trying to remember a good one. I swear I have memories of him coming out as one of the love interests in Betty la Fea. If anybody's ever watched that, I could be absolutely wrong. Please don't throw hate at me if I'm wrong. But I have vague memories of it. I'll even double check just to make sure. Let's see.
Yeah.
Movie. Yep. Yeah, La Fea Más Bella. It was one of the adaptations of Betty la Fea. Um, there's like this really famous show where it's like this office worker slash student kind of thing who's kind of an outcast, and she ends up attracting one of the more important and handsome guys. This is way back when though, so just to show. Yeah, that's him.
Andre says that's him.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my gosh, this brings me back, guys. I'm here like I grew up with Betty La Fea. So seeing this right now, I'm just like, what in tarnation?
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any other well-known ones. Oh, he even came out in Jane the Virgin for you guys that aren't really into Spanish
Yeah, Andre
soap
brought it
operas.
up. He also said that he was in
Yeah.
DuckTales, apparently.
I need to catch up on DuckTales. I keep hearing all these people are coming up on DuckTales, and I'm like, I haven't caught up. I'm seeing here also Hotel Transylvania 3, Coco, which I'm not surprised at all. So there you go. I don't know who he played though. Those are the main ones that I noticed that are well recognized. I could have sworn he was in some more well-known soap operas too. But there you go. Well, I haven't thought of La Fea Más Bella in so long.
Yeah, well, now you know. Now he's playing a not just any Star character, but the character that lots of fans have been either looking forward to or being afraid of.
Dang. Though I could see him pulling like a modern form of like Antonio Banderas or something. Because he definitely goes for that vibe. Like, not as like, sort of like eloquent or like, kind of like showsy with it,
Hmm.
but he's always painted in a lot of the roles that he plays. He's played as like the handsome, almost pretty boy
Mm,
kind of thing. So there's definitely that going on. I'm really excited to see this because this. I think this is a really good choice. I
I
think this is
see.
a really good choice.
Hmm. All right. So,
Have I believed right off the bat that they would go with any form of idea like this? Absolutely not.
hmm.
Absolutely not. I'm still taking it in right now, guys. Like I had
Yeah,
no
I know. It was just
idea.
kind of like a big bombshell when you heard.
Heck yeah! Like, did you see my reaction? That was a genuine
Your jaw
reaction, guys.
dropped. You look like your
Yeah,
jaw dropped.
I guess I'm just like, because those are like two very separate aspects of my whole life, I guess.
Hmm.
There's that side and then there's that side and then it's like whoop.
Hmm.
I'm
It's like a
like,
particle accelerator.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that is awesome. That is awesome. All right, where were we?
Okay,
What
so
episode were we talking about?
yeah,
I don't
so
even remember.
so yeah, we finished up surviving spider bites. I guess we'll go on to out of business, which I like that episode, but I have the same problem with it as Yada Yada Berries, where the ending was very abrupt.
Which one was it again?
Quest by shuts down.
Oh. Ah.
I mean, it's a funny episode.
Yeah, it was fun. I think it was good.
Mhm.
I'm tempted to say it's more of a filler episode, but other than that, I didn't really have any problems with it.
I'm very curious to know, is this episode gonna come back someday, maybe down the line, with just because the way it ends, like basically the whole episode's about Marco, Jana, and Star discovering the section of Quest by where anything you want just, comes to life. So, Jana thinks up of the evil Marco clones, aka I am
Oh yeah.
Okram! And
So we
Star.
finally found out what that was about because we were so confused as to how that was going to play in at all.
Mhm. Yeah,
uh,
and then Star was like probably and then Star dreams of like a unicorn cake, and Jana bites the neck and it
uh,
bleeds like raspberry filling. I thought that
oh,
was one of
don't
the more edgy jokes.
worry.
Mm-hmm.
Like the unicorn is all chill. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh jeez.
yeah. I was honestly expecting it to be a more dramatic. Like, it's weird to think of it for a Quest by episode, but it's just if the idea is they're basically their brains are just gonna get turned to mush and they'll just be thinking all day long about what they want and things like that. But it just ends
Yeah, they're gonna
with
turn it to little golems.
yeah, but it
Like
just
they're the
ends
ones in the cage.
yeah. But it just ends with Star saying, we don't need all this stuff. We're free, very smart people, and yeah, we're just gonna walk away. But
And then there's
Marco,
Marco.
yeah. So,
That part made me laugh so hard.
hmm yeah. I don't know. Do you think? I know this is
I
because
I
wouldn't it
don't
be
see how.
because wouldn't it be funny if the Okram clones come back and they're like fighting in the series finale?
Oh shoot! Like they just bring them into the cavalry. They're
I
just like,
guess.
come on, guys. I could see that. I
Hmm.
could see that. How they're gonna do that, I have absolutely no idea. Because the other thing is wouldn't they basically disappear once they tried to go outside the room?
They do like they didn't even
That's how
go.
I understood it. Like you have to stay inside the room for any of that to stay.
Hmm.
Oh wait, no. They pull out the wallets, right? They end up taking the wallets with them, right?
Hmm.
Okay, then never mind. Then forget about that. It'll actually work. There you go.
Let me actually just double check that. Obviously, I'm not gonna show you. I can't show you guys the episode for copyright reasons, but let me just double check.
Don't mind my typing.
I could barely hear it.
Ah.
Yeah, they do take the wallets. I'm just wondering, did they get the wallets from that section though, or was it from an earlier part of the store?
No, no, they got it inside the room. In fact, that's like the first thing they see in the room on the shelf. Because there were exactly 16 in the back
Mm-hmm.
on that shelf that they find. It was 16, right? Or
Or
12?
something like that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was 16. I remember 16.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Okay, so that's good. Andre says, I want to see Star Marco riding nachos. It's an army of baby Marcos with wheels for our hands while Star Marco kiss. Okay.
Wait, what?
I'm not even sure. Like, maybe Andre, could you clarify that? He just says, and I'll say word for word, I want to see Star Marco riding nachos. It's an army of baby nachos with wheels for hands while they kiss Star and Marco.
I'm imagining like tiny little baby nacho dragons just like bombarding them almost like the laser puppies, and that sounds absolutely adorable. Heck yes.
Yeah. Although the idea
No,
of Star
you have to
Marco.
be a little more careful with nachos because you don't want to get any tire marks or like you get breathe fire on you. That would hurt.
Hmm. And
That would
Andre
hurt.
says in the final battle. That's
Oh, like riding them out to battle and just be like, charge! I could
hmm.
totally see that. I would want to see that. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that would
That makes a
definitely.
lot more sense.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
I
that
would
would.
I would want to see either the one of those two. Like either way just sounds freaking amazing.
Yeah. But okay, so moving on, and oh boy, this episode made a lot of Starco fans really mad. I mean, even Andre, I think you were
Uh-oh.
referencing it, and that is Kelly's world.
Uh-oh. I liked it. I'm
Same.
sorry.
I mean, don't get me wrong. For the people watching, yes, this is still my OTP. Don't worry, I'm not. It's just that in terms of just Marco and Kelly hanging out, I thought it was
And
a
they're
sweet
just
episode.
breakup buddies, guys. Don't get your knickers all in a twist, alright?
Although to be fair, Eric Kelly does kiss Marco.
Well, I mean, we've had that coming along for a while now, haven't we? Like, I was kind of expecting it. There's already been a little bit of chemistry going on
Yeah.
between
I
them.
will say, because like I want to approach this from like both perspectives, just to make my point clear. Because my idea of shipping is, for me, shipping is more of like a much more personal matter. Like, even though yes, I ship Starco, for me, it's always just a case of asking who do I think is the cute couple, because there's ships in other shows that didn't come true, but I still technically support. When Dip, for instance, in Gravity Falls, for instance, yeah,
Oh,
that didn't
yeah.
work out in the end, but they still remain friends, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I can definitely respect that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no problem there. I think for me, what I get worried about, especially coming from a fandom where ships get taken very seriously,
Mm-hmm.
a little too seriously.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about Steven Universe. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that happening again, guys. I don't want to go back to that dark place. I
Yeah.
so let's not go that far. I mean, obviously, do I prefer Starco? Absolutely.
Hmm.
That's has to be my favorite ship.
Hmm.
But let's not get mad at anybody who's making the show.
Yeah.
Okay?
For me,
Yeah.
it's always just a case of I respect your point of view even if I disagree. I mean that was kind of the reason why I made a lot of these shipping, or me and my sister we made these shipping flags. Like one was I wanted to do something to celebrate the ships I support, but I also kind of made them just as a kind of like to parody just how crazy people get with supporting them.
Oh yeah, and then I mean, I still remember how it was like when this whole concept sort of started,
Mm-hmm.
'cause this goes way back for like back when Homestuck was really a big thing. 'Cause that's the first place I actually got to understand the whole concept of shipping. And if you see Nepeta, which was the main character in the comic series that would come up with the ships, she had an entire wall. So okay, so you could see this like whole thing I have back here.
Mm-hmm.
Whole thing just covered in all the different combinations that the characters could, be paired up as.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's the point. She didn't discriminate, which is why I'm getting to this. Like, if you look at how it was making ships, it's just experimentation for the most part. It's like, how would these two people work out? What's their spark? How do they interact with each other? Are they more like
Was it kind of like the wall version of
exactly?
this?
Yes, yes, and you're just like, wow, this is really interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I think another good example is like if you look at the episode of Adventure Time where they have like the tiny versions of all the characters
Mm-hmm.
and then they try to put them together to see how
Yeah.
they interact.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how it is. Um, I feel like having it in that sort of sense, you sort of have to keep an open mind. And
Mm-hmm.
once you start getting upset because the one that you like isn't really working out,
Mm-hmm.
you stop enjoying the whole thing of it, and that sucks, Like all of this is just for the sake of enjoyment, guys. And heck, maybe you can even enjoy the competition of which ship is actually working out, and it's more of like a friendly thing and less of like a this has gotta be it, not this thing's all gonna suck. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are saying that season four there's way too much shipping. I think for me, I'm just kind of more ticked off that it's sort of the sense of it's not going the way that I hope, and it's just getting even more complicated, especially since we're
Yeah,
coming to the final season. Like I think for me
that's
that's where the
true.
problem comes in.
Yeah, and again, I want to think that the main reason that happened was just because of a time crunch. And when you have a time crunch, you have to condense a whole bunch of story that would otherwise been better suited for a long period of time.
Hmm.
Uh, which is kind of why I'm surprised they kind of are cutting the show very short. It seems
Hmm.
like because there's still a lot to go through, guys.
Yeah,
There's
I mean
still
that was
a
why I
lot.
was saying that we were saying there's even enough material for a fifth season of
Yeah, I could
Star.
definitely agree there. I could
Hmm.
definitely agree. Um, not to be misunderstood as me not seeing why they would make that decision. Obviously, like TV moves very fast.
Hmm.
So there's that. But I mean, definitely I find it unfair because, for the creator and the people on the crew, I could imagine too. Like for the creator, it sucks mainly because it's like, oh wow, I had all this story that I wanted to say. There was so
Hmm.
much I still wanted to tell. And with the crew, you just get into the whole point where it's like, oh gosh, we have to get this done by when now? We have to figure out what and how much time now? What
Yeah.
we were supposed to do this like 3 days ago? Oh my gosh. Ah, you know,
I
it
mean,
gets chaotic.
yeah.
So
I will give the writers credit that Star isn't ending in the sense you don't get that feeling of they're just putting things, to okay, that's how we're going to end the show, and they're just putting them in their final places. Like so
No,
far,
no, obviously not. Uh,
like yeah, I mean I'll give them credit for that. It's just that it's like things are getting even more complicated.
yeah, but
Okay.
it's to be expected when things are having to go super fast.
Hmm.
Like we're zooming through these episodes, guys. I mean, we have after these last what 2 episodes, we have like half a season left.
I think so. But
Yeah,
but
that's
anyway,
not a lot at all.
But yeah, but anyway, getting back to Kelly's World, like I also thought it was also a really creative episode. Like for me, in
Oh, it
terms of design, it
was.
was one of the most creative episodes of the fourth season. Like, and I'm kind of amazed we're only just now introduced to the world of the Woolits, but it's such a kind of a neat world of being in. I also kind of find it funny. It's like everybody, the way you do things in this world basically all comes down to you have to get in a duel with somebody. And in that ending where they have to fight in the library, the librarian tells Kelly, I'm going to have to give you a haircut because your book is overdue. And they get in that fight and they introduce the whole, what was the fighting technique called? Wool hair do? Or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, it's they do like the where they do it together. It's like
Mm-hmm.
two people and in sync. I don't remember how they called it.
Yeah, it
Dang
is
it.
wool hair do. I have it written in my
Yeah,
notes.
but there's like a specific technique that they use from wool hairdo where it focuses on like the two people doing it together. I can't remember the exact term that they use, but
Yeah, there's a whole
it's
bunch
there.
of them, to
It's
be
there.
honest. And I also have it written down, like, even the Woolits themselves, some of them can even be the home of these characters. Like, Kelly's home
Yeah,
is
like
her
mom.
mom.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So I thought that was definitely really cool. And also, Tad is super clingy and even kind of creepy in this episode.
I wouldn't say clingy. I think just weird,
Hmm.
kind of creepy,
But it's just, you could
almost very
tell.
creepy.
Yeah, but you could tell he's having such a hard time, like, trying to split from Kelly.
I don't know. He seemed pretty zen in those videos, guys.
I don't know. I was getting the kind of vibes of yeah, it's Zen, but it just kind of feels like he seems chill, but something about it seems like
Oh yeah, like
it's
low
he's
key, he's
still
like,
feeling the
"Why
pain.
aren't you back with me?
Yeah, like it's that
I
kind of a
miss
thing.
you."
Yeah, and that's pretty much why Kelly and Marco become breakup buddies. And Marco gives a really big revelation. Just remember
That he
that
should have
he likes
feelings.
Star as a friend, but he kind of wants to meet other people. Like, you
Oh
remember he
yeah,
actually
yeah,
says
yeah,
that
yeah,
line?
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah. That's how they became breakup
Yeah.
buddies.
And Starco shippers around the world were absolutely crushed. Andreas,
I
on a
don't know. I
scale.
still find him cute though. I still find him cute. If that's what works out, I'll be happy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say they have a cute, like, friendship going on. I'll give them that. Andreas, on a scale of 1 to 10, how probable is Endgame Starco? I
I'd
would
say that's extremely possible. Like if that doesn't happen, then there's something going on.
Yeah, like they're
Like
really heavily hinting that they're gonna together. Like I imagine in like even if theoretically, let's say they don't, end up getting together romantically, I'd still say they could still remain pretty good friends.
oh no, I think it's pretty set in stone. I mean, even Steven pointed out. Let's go down through most of the parts because there's a few things that really cement this, even just from the basis of concept. I mean, from the very point we start off, Marco and Star are supposed to be based off of uh, Darren's actual experiences as in a relationship that has lasted.
Hmm. Yeah, they're
So there's
married
that.
now.
Yeah. Not to mention, if we look at it from the aspect of the genre that it's supposed to be coming from, which is
Mm-hmm.
the magical girl kind of dealio, except we're in America now, so
Mm-hmm.
America. But there's the whole thing where where's the guy and the girl, and the guy and the girl are pretty much always in a romantic relationship, unless you go into something like I guess I would say either Madoka Magica, which Madoka Magica is just like an exception because it's just dark and creepy as heck, and I don't even think there's a lot of romance in that. But there's the whole trope where it's like, guy and girl get together, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily see a problem with it in this sense. Another thing, we've gone over how most of the other ships that we have, in fact, the mainly one other ship we have for Star, isn't really the most healthy
Which one?
with Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the boat
Mm,
that Star basically got with back with Tom. Is kind of like going back to her comfort zone, just in terms of she
exactly,
doesn't know
exactly.
what to do with her feelings.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
So
which I could understand. I was kind of in that boat too. You know.
they kind of put her under the bus. Like, again, we're starting to see Star isn't necessarily a perfect person, which I think is all right. I think is all
Well,
right.
that's just being
Uh,
human, to be honest.
that's true. That's true. And again, also we got to keep in mind that Tom also did also kind of had a responsibility in being open and not aggressive but assertive with his emotions, because that's a key point in a relationship. If you can't manage to assert how you're feeling at times,
Hmm.
that's how misunderstandings happen, and that's kind of what happened. So there's that. And well, I mean, Star and Marco are extremely close,
Hmm.
and if Marco or Star tries to keep an actual different relationship while still staying as close as they are with each other, there's going to be jealousy.
Yeah, and it's just not gonna work. Because like it's a very
So yeah,
difficult thing
don't
to
worry in
balance.
that aspect, guys. It's more than like it very much more likely than not to happen, if that makes sense. There you go.
Yeah. And speaking of Starco, now we get to the
Dun dun dun! The moment you've all been waiting for.
Uh, yeah, that's the part of the segment I would act. I'm so tempted to act like Eric Andre, but I
Like,
like my
ah!
roommates not getting into it. So I'm just like, I'm gonna rip the curtains and just start doing really stupid things.
I imagine him coming through my door and just starting to like destroy everything that's behind me, and then come over
Hmm.
to the camera and just like, ah!
Hmm. Yeah. But okay, Curse of the Blood Moon, which
Da, da,
from the moment
da.
the official episodes names were announced, I feel a lot of
Everyone's
people,
heart dropped. Everyone's heart dropped.
yeah,
I sensed it.
yeah, everybody was pointing at it. I mean, it was a question of, curse, like it's not a good thing, which we'll get into that in this discussion. But yeah, so it turns out, funny enough, the first half of Curse of the Blood Moon, I was very on, to be really honest. Like, it was honestly to the point where I just, didn't, you know, wasn't liking it too much. Mainly because it just seemed kind of strange that now they're like, oh no, it's a problem. And the thing about the whole Curse of the Blood Moon is it's so subtle to the point where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was going to have, like, more of a kind of explicit, provocative kind of, like, thing. It's like, oh, something bad happened now
Yeah,
because,
I'll say that was a bit just surprising too.
yeah.
Though I could definitely see how this worked out.
Yeah.
I think you were even the one who came up with the idea that was the curse, right?
Like, because I thought it was gonna be more of a question of Star and Marco weren't sure about their feelings anymore because they weren't
Yeah,
sure
and that was kind of how it went down because they're like, well, is it this or is it the
towards the end,
freaking
yes,
curse?
but the way they
It
got,
did boil down to that though. It did pretty much boil down to that. Like
yeah,
that was the main question at play. So
it did.
brownie
It was
points for
just
Bobby.
yeah, I mean, but it was just kind of a little too subtle for my taste because the way they got the ball going was Tom was, watching Star Marco and Star Marco. They start talking and saying the exact same sentence at the same time, and he was like, "Oh, you're cursed. Like this is a curse." Which I'm kind of surprised because it's like originally Tom wanted the blood moon to shine down on both him and Star, so it's just like
Because
now
he
you're
knew
saying
that
it's a
would
curse.
happen.
It's like you wanted
Well,
to get cursed
but
too.
Tom, it's Tom. You remember the other time we figured out that Tom knew something? He was also kind of like too little too late where he's like, oh shoot, I forgot to mention that. Whoops, sorry. So it's classic Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's more him. The reason he wanted to bind his soul with Star was that so they could make their relationship much more permanent.
Yeah,
But as you could
very
see,
much so.
Star was pretty, pissed when she was like, "What? This is a curse all along."
Yeah, I remember that reaction. That was oh, oh.
Yeah, just I
I
don't
I will
know.
honestly agree. It could have been worked out a little better. But I feel like there's more to it, and that's exactly why we don't have all the answers laid out to us as to how this worked out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm being patient.
Yeah, I see. It's just that now, spoilers, I warn you guys, now that the curse is basically lifted, now it's like, we won't even know if there was going to be things very specific to the curse. I think it's just a matter of the intentions were there, just the writing was really kind of quirky in the episode. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm noticing that's a kind of a issue with a lot of the Star episodes we talked about today. So,
Oh yes,
mhm.
definitely. And then we have the weird thing. The was it the grandpa? Tom's
Yeah,
grandpa?
yeah, Relicore. He got
Yeah.
he only spoke in screams, basically.
No, but he's so sad because apparently he did the same thing. What was it with the grandma?
Yeah, his
And
wife.
now he can't remember how they were.
Yeah, how
That's
they met
sad.
the first time they fell in
Yeah.
love, which
That made me sad. That's so
I
sad.
mean, yeah, it's sad, but at the same time, are they indicating maybe it's the first time Star and Marco fell in love?
No, but that's the thing. The blood moon was the first moment in which they fell in love. And
Hmm.
now they're getting rid of it.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's what got me upset, okay?
yeah. Well,
You could see that
I'll
right
get
there.
more
I'm
into
just
my
like,
feelings. I
ah.
seem really chill. Like I will say, I
Yeah,
was.
your brain's exploding right now.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled, guys. His brain is mush right now, okay? Bear
Man,
with him.
like when I was watching this episode, my heart was pumping like crazy. I was chanting. I was just like, come on, come on, come on, come on, let's get on with it. And then when they get to the Severing Stone, which interestingly enough, somebody
Ah!
cosplayed. Man,
That
this
gave me
episode just
feels right
destroyed
there.
you, Gabby. Um,
Yeah.
yes, and so they get
Dear,
to this.
I have the feels, okay?
Mhm,
What made me so upset was like having that indication that it was outside of the blood moon.
mhm.
Because I don't remember what exactly is it, but they're like, or what if it wasn't, or something like
Yes,
that. And I'm just like, no, no, ah. But then
I'll
I
get
guess
into why that
I'll
stuff
admit I'm,
doesn't crush me as much in a second.
no, for me it's like I don't know. I have this attachment to like fate, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
where like it's sort of like having superstition.
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe that at least every once in a while things work out for a certain way. So
Mm-hmm.
when I see stuff like that getting messed with, I'm like, please don't, no.
Mm-hmm.
Though I will admit, in this sense, it makes for very good storytelling.
Yes.
So very much kudos. This
Mm-hmm.
is a very much a good thing. Oh,
Yeah.
the tension, the tension. Oh my
And to be
gosh.
fair, Star Marco, the dance itself was just wonderful. That was just,
Oh, I loved it. That
I
was
honestly keep on watching
amazing.
that dance every now and then. But okay, so you're probably wondering how come, I'm not all sad and like, oh my god, no, because like when this episode came out, like everybody was just sad. Like everyone was like,
Oh
no, it's
yeah.
over, Starco is over now. And yet I was the one who was like I still have hope. And that was why I
Yeah,
went around
I
saying
do
things
too.
like,
I do too.
yeah,
I don't think they're gonna end it there.
yeah.
I
Because
like how
here,
they like even when we were at the at the Blood Moon Ball, and there was that one guy dressed up as a Severing Stone.
mm-hmm,
And when he comes up with it, he's like, because he was part of the cosplay competition, and he puts that into it. It was hilarious.
yeah,
Uh, it did help that I saw that right after finishing the episodes, because I got to the ball like shortly after finishing the episodes. So
yes,
I'm like, oh shoot, that was intense. Joke.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, just a little side note right there.
Yeah. Um, but here's why, like, my faith. I mean, it was definitely sad. Like, don't get me wrong. The fact that, like, not only is the memory of the Blood Moon Ball is gone, or so we think, as well as the second dance Star Marco shared is, possibly gone forever. Like, that part is definitely sad. But as for Star Marco's relationship, honestly, and it's even kind of evident in like later episodes, if they're still gonna hook up like down the line, I think in a sense it kind of shows that the relationship is above this curse. Like if anything, it just kind of it shows how sturdy and set in stone their relationship is.
Oh
And
yeah.
as many fans point out, like I even saw this really great Instagram post from somebody. Let me see if I saved it. I hope I saved it. Because let's see, did I say? Oh, I didn't save it. But there was an Instagram post basically saying this person was glad that the Blood Moon curse was broken, and because this person wanted Star Marker to have a more legitimate relationship, like even if they still get together. So I think that's the other thing too, is that if they still hook up, that means the relationship is more genuine, and that
Oh
regardless of what the curse does,
wow.
uh,
Talk about seeing the brighter side of things, am I right?
yeah. Although it does kind of make me think, but then it just makes it feel like this episode was to kind of just patch a crack in the script in a sense, just in terms of it's gone now, so that means that even if they do hook up, their relationship is more genuine, because I don't know, do you find that kind of padding in a sense?
Not really. Not really. Because I mean, it seems like those two things have been kind of planned out for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Like talking about like back in the process of conception, where they were still thinking out how the concept of the story was gonna go.
Yeah.
Uh, so I feel like I'm trying to figure out the right way to put this. Um, words, words. Um, I feel like it was still necessary, because you pointed out how it works out very well in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that being the main intention for it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like more than anything, it could partially be working it out so that, it gets the fandom all excited over it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say in a sense it's like like done just to like patch up something that they didn't think out beforehand. I mean, I thought it worked really well.
I mean, technically it does in terms of like the relationship. I'm just saying, because the curse itself is really mysterious. Like all we really know about it is that it just kind of makes Star Marco like it kind of makes them make them do very similar things at the same time and that sort of thing. It just kind of makes you wonder: is there more to this curse that we just don't know? Because the
I really
idea
don't know.
Yeah, because the idea of them, being like stuck together like this just kind of makes it's part of the gray area, is it because of the curse or is it because of their legitimate feelings? Which, speaking of feelings, I cracked up when Star Marco said, "Let's go destroy our feelings."
Oh God, yeah, that line killed me.
I was just like, that's me as a teenager.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. But I will
Oh,
say, I mean, but yeah, I mean, if they had to get rid of the memory of the Blood Moon Ball, I mean, it's a sacrifice for sure. But like I said, it just kind of shows that even their relationship can withstand the curse. And by the way, I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but for you Starco shippers out there,
oh yeah, the
I
post
posted
that you
that gloomy
made.
photo of the Starco flag, and it says "Never forget March 31st, 2019."
Here's a. Oh, here we go. I feel like more than anything, it worked out, or like the intention for the whole thing was more of like, those instances where there are misunderstandings.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll be watching like a soap opera or something, and then it's like, oh, this person did that, but they thought that person did it, but no, it was really this person, kind
Yeah.
of thing. That's more of how I took it, though. A much more, how should I say, uh, a much more well written way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I know I just compared it to a soap opera, but the way they do it in soap operas does not do justice for this at all. Like
I
by
see.
no means. So
Okay.
like instead of like somebody trying to like sabotage another person's relationship, you have this.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm really down for because sometimes those kind of little twists actually end up playing a big role in the story. So I'm like, heck yeah.
Mm. Yeah. But hey, I mean, if anything, it still gives me a lot of hope that Star Market. So I remember even yesterday. Oh wait, I should save that for another episode we're going to talk about. So anyway, moving on to the Princess Kassar Caterpillar episode, which Kassar Caterpillar is only in that episode for like 2 minutes at best.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, because that episode is actually much more about Ludo, and I'm surprised we actually came up with this theory in one of our trailer reactions. The idea that maybe Ludo is just bouncing around different dimensions, and technically speaking, yeah, he went to a dimension in where this dimension star has like Saturns on her cheeks, and Jackie is a robot, and Janet
Oh
has
yeah.
one eye, and she's a Cyclops.
Yeah, that part tripped me out. Cause that's the first thing you see. So I'm here like, what? When did she lose an eye?
Yeah, I don't know, because I saw fan art of Kassar, so I don't know, it's weird, because I knew what she looked like, but I didn't know that we're going into, like, alternate dimension kind of thing. Although, with a name like Kassar Caterpillar, I guess, I should have expected that. Because,
Oh
Caterpillar,
yeah.
Butterfly, that sort of contrast.
Right, right, yeah.
But no, this episode is much more to do with Ludo and the kind of scary idea that he can't, ward off that feeling of how he wants, the wand and power, and how he's basically been caught up with all the recent new things that have been going on. Like he discovers that, Eclipsa has come back, and he was like, I thought she was dead.
Shit.
And
Oh
then
jeez.
his minions come back. Not. Oh, I was gonna do something, but never mind. But yeah, his monster Bangery comes back, and they're all trying to rebuild his castle, basically.
Oh yeah, and I love the little points they make where he's like he even unintentionally says wand when he means something completely different. And they even they're like, "Are you sure that's what you meant?" And he's like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I meant." What? What wand? I don't know anything about no wand.
Yeah, that part.
I found that
Because
hilarious.
Kassar uses a magic bell, not a magic wand.
Yeah, and no, and then with the deed for the castle too.
hmm Yeah, because his brother Dennis, who I know a lot of Star fans really like Dennis, he tries to
I
buy
do
back
too.
the castle,
Yeah.
but Dennis, not reading the fine print, it turns out that he inadvertently sold this castle to this jerky landlord, whom Ludo ambushes, and one of his it was either his eagle or his spider ate the landlord, right?
I think it was the eagle because the spider put him in a web.
Mm-hmm. And that's how they get the castle back.
Yeah.
To me,
Though
it's
it's really weird how that contract was worked out because the way I understood it, the landlord was already in possession of it. So then Dennis comes over. It's like, hey, can I have it back? He's like, yeah, just sign this contract. It's like, yeah, I'm only gonna give it back to you so that you can fix it, and then I can take it back when it's all nice and fixed.
yeah. But I guess the really big question mark over this episode is: does this mean Ludo is back and he wants the wand?
I don't think group of siblings together
Mm-hmm.
and they try to like put the whole thing behind him. He's like, yeah, I'm not going for the wand anymore.
Did he let me double check that? Because I just got this feeling that he was never going to be able to shake off, like, his feelings for the wand. He tries to, but it just kind of keeps coming back to
Yeah, because
him.
he just starts doing it when he's left with his minions. But then, in
Mm-hmm.
order to make it right, that's when he does the whole thing with the landlord, and he gets the castle back.
Mm-hmm.
And then first you just see the castle, and it's like, oh, you just got the castle back. He's like, yeah, but look who's back. And then they say all their siblings coming back,
Mm-hmm.
and they're playing basketball.
Yep, just like promised in the. Oh, but it ends with a scoreboard saying Ludo versus the Force of Evil.
Yeah, so what I think that more is going to be is that he's going to get on the good guy's side. Cause he was freaking badass as a good guy, let me tell you. He was more scary as a good guy.
Hmm.
He's like the anti-hero. I could totally get down for that.
So yeah, but it just leaves me wondering: is Ludo going to play, another part in a future episode?
That I can definitely see. I'm pretty sure he's gonna. I'm kind of sure he's gonna come back. How though is the question? Because I could still be absolutely wrong, and this is like, oh yeah, he wants the wand again. And I'm like, oh shoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm unfortunately kind of like concerned that may still be a thing. Because like he's bouncing through all these dimensions. We thought, we would think that after he, helped defeat Toffee, that would mean, he will be putting his past behind him. But it's still kind of evident that, his desire for power. It's even kind of driving him mad. Like in
Well,
that previous
yeah, like
episode.
since the beginning, I think he was more mad with an obsession for power in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, and now he's starting to get rid of it. But if you know the process of getting rid of an obsession like that, it
Mm-hmm.
takes ages and a lot of effort. So
Mm-hmm.
he's in that point of state where it's like, I know what my problem is. I'm not clearly to the point where I can actually overcome it yet, but I'm almost there.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
have hope. Woo!
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, as I always am, I'm concerned.
Except apparently when it comes to the severing stone.
Yeah, but that's because as my faith in Eve cannot be shaken. Yeah. But okay, moving on to Ghost of Butterfly Castle. So I'm not gonna lie, that episode
Ooh.
was kind of ruined for me. because I got spoiled and I found out, what happened. Because I get the feeling if I saw the episode alone, it would have been a pretty tense one for me. But since I knew what was not everything, like I knew that the ghost turned out to be Mina Loveberry, but how it ends.
Night, and I don't remember the ending. How did it end?
Hold on. I shouldn't eat when I do these live streams.
You're making me hungry, man. I wish I had food to eat right now.
Anyway, I swear I'm not gonna eat another thing.
No, man, you go ahead. We're humans. We need to eat.
Yeah. But basically,
Bye.
the way the episode ends is we find out that Mina, one, was the one behind the yada yada berries.
Yes.
And also, she's basically coming up with this plan to revive this whole thing from the era of Solaria. Which even Moon herself is against because she said that
Did that come out of nowhere, or did I miss something?
No, it was introduced in this episode. I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere, though. I think mainly because we know that Mina is kind of a bit of a whack job, and...
Well, yeah, but I never got any sort of, like, impression that there was some sort of past for her. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd say the way it came off was, for lack of a better word, it felt kind of, natural. I didn't get that...
Well, yeah, I'll say that. Like, it didn't feel out of place. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, wait. Was this implied before? That's more my question. Like, I think it could still work out either way, but I'm just making sure I'm not tripping out here, because I didn't see this coming at all.
See, somebody is asking me, an Enzo 2206, how long is it until the episode releases? What do you mean by episode release? Do you mean the next one? The next two episodes? Enzo, let me know. But anyway, as for Ghost of Butterfly Castle itself, so it does kind of indicate to me that I guess Mina could potentially be yet another main villain. I'll say one thing about, the way Star is written, in the sense that some of these villains seem to come out of nowhere. Like, they're usually treated as sort of like a gag character, and then all of a sudden they're now the next big threat. Because...
Oh, yeah. Except Toffee.
Yeah, Toffee they gave, quite a bit of development. But in the case of Meteora, back when she was Miss Heinous, like, Miss Heinous' development from going from a sort of gag character to a main villain, it just kind of felt like, in the sense of she, is kind of, rediscovers her past, and that makes her think, I'm gonna go take over the Butterfly Town, yeah! Yeah, and now we got Mina, who is like, I'm gonna revive this really dark program to try to kick Eclipsa off her throne. Are you with me or not, Moon? And of course Moon says no, and yeah.
Well, not only that, but I think she was also implying monster genocide. That doesn't sound good at all.
No. If anything, yeah. I don't... But, yeah, I'm just... Why am I getting, like, military dictator vibes?
I totally was when I was watching.
Well, not mine.
Well, yeah. Though I think people are misunderstanding the problem that Eclipse is having, thinking she's not doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel more than anything she's not having the support she needs in order to work out the ideas that she wants to come through with. Because it's like the main people she's surrounded by are people who are like, I don't trust you. I'm never going to trust you. I'm not going to let you do anything. So anything you try to do, whether I agree with it or not, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Which can become very problematic.
Mm-hmm. But I think the other thing about this episode, too, is that now that Moon is technically not the Queen of Muni anymore, we do find out they were implying that at the end of Down by the River, that, all these humans now are living, like, close to Moon, and now they kind of set up their village, but now they don't really have a leader, and Moon is just kind of taking a back seat. So
it looks like she's getting pushed to really go back into that position, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I kind of joke that maybe it could be like a Cold War situation with a East Muni and a West Muni, but I don't think the show is going to go there.
No, especially not with the next episode that we gotta look at.
Yeah.
If I got it right, I could be wrong.
Next episode. So.
But yeah, but like, okay, all right. The reason why I said that was because, like, looking at the kind of concept that they're going with here, we have basically the premise that Star wants to start off an integrated game of cornball, which not only means monsters and humans, but monsters and humans on the same team.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't end up working out, at least for the well-established cornball players. Though I love seeing how through every minute of the episode we see the younger kids in the bleachers. Well, not the bleachers. I don't know what you call them, but like the seats, running off stage and making their own game. And basically it ends up with Marco being left by Kelly, who went off to, I don't remember what she went to do, to go see what was going on, like try to fix the game that was supposed to go on. He starts narrating the other game with the children, and we see a great example of integration, which was what Star was going for.
Yeah.
And I think this points more towards the kind of concept that I would see going through with the whole little yurt village you got going on there. Because it's like, if anyone is in a position to be able to change the minds of the humans, it's Queen Moon. Now, if Queen Moon is put back into a position where she can, have authority over people legitimately, and not just because people will trust her, I think she may actually be a really good help, because she's starting to see that Eclipsa isn't necessarily, evil or anything. In fact, once you see how she reacts to how people are talking about her, even River, she's just like, I can't take any of this ridiculousness anymore. So I could definitely see her coming to team up with Eclipsa to kind of work things out so that humans and monsters can both actually work out in the city that's being developed now.
Yeah, and then and also Moon sort of has the trust of the monsters, like that one time when she was playing that game with Buffrog. I mean, yeah, it was a very tense game, and they were talking about all kinds of assumptions, but yeah.
Oh yeah, though I feel like with the Moon, the main person she has any kind of like trust with in that sense is Buffrog. Well, I mean, Eclipsa has everybody on the monster side on her with her, because they all know what went down. But Moon's still one of those queens where you look at this, they're like, oh, there's a monster right there. What's she gonna do to that monster? Because her job was still to like protect humans against the monsters.
Right.
The only other person would be Star. Who would really be like, oh, okay, she's cool with monsters. But definitely I'd say Moon has a really big impact on the humans. So that's more what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, especially in Moon's perspective, I definitely can agree.
Heck, she might even use Buffrog, be like, see, this is my pally Buffrog. He's cool. Salute. Salute.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, by the way, I kind of wanted to mention this one thing, and somebody pointed this out on social media. You know how supposedly the Severing Stone got rid of Star Marco's memory of the Blood Moon Ball?
Yes.
Marco references it in a very short scene. Like, I think Kelly is like, why don't you go sit with Star? Marco's like, I'm good. We just got done dealing with stuff related to the Blood Moon Ball. It's just like
Oh.
he remembers that.
Oh. I didn't realize the implications of that.
Yeah, it's just like that scene in South Park where Cartman is like, "What about Kenny? He dies all the time." It's like, you know that?
Oh shoot, that's like a fourth wall break without the fourth wall. How does that even work? Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Ah.
I will say, in my perspective, on one point, I'm kind of glad because, yay! It's not, they're still together, they're still together, woo! But on the other hand, I'm like, did it really break the curse? And come to think of it, even in Curse of the Blood Moon, when Star and Marco were dancing, you know how the light around them was shrinking as the curse was
Yeah.
about to be broken? What I'm wondering is, why is it, while the light didn't shrink, the moon, I don't know what you call it, the thing that was shining the moon's light, that broke, but the moon didn't, finish, closing up. The light of the moon didn't finish closing up. Instead, Star says the line, "What if it was never the blood moon?" And that's what caused the, or at least I don't know about cause, but at the same time.
Like yeah, that was a little too close though.
Mm-hmm. Now, but
Wow.
yeah, I mean, originally, they did forget. They started to kind of slowly forget about the Blood Moon Ball. Even when Marco was shown the bowl with the two pieces of marshmallows, he was like, "What do I associate these with?"
Oh no, well he didn't seem to question what that was. He's just like, huh, they're just soggy marshmallows now.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
it
so
kind of makes
I
me
mean
want.
that's the thing. We haven't had anything that actually reminds them specifically of the blood moon. Hi.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is my mom.
Hey.
Hey.
Mom, we're on a live stream. You just came out on the internet.
Oops.
Yeah, my mom actually does performances at personal parties.
Hi,
Doing all
everyone.
nice and pretty.
Sorry
Oh.
to interrupt.
No,
It's
it's all
okay.
good,
It's
Mom.
okay. We're good. Okay, so back to the we were talking about the curse of the blood moon. So it kind of makes me wonder: was the curse broken entirely?
I think that's the point. The
Mm-hmm.
curse was only part of it. So yes, the whole curse was broken,
Mm-hmm.
but
But not the
it didn't
release.
get rid. Yeah. That's
I don't
like
know. I don't know why I'm making this comparison. I guess it's kind of like in Disney's Hercules. Just hear me out. I know it's a weird comparison.
no, I could totally get you. I've been
But
talking about the romantic aspects of
no,
that movie
not
for
the
a while.
romantic aspect of Hercules. I'm
What,
you know the scene
really?
where baby Hercules has to drink this formula and it gets rid of his godlike
Oh,
powers. Remember
okay,
though,
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
didn't drink the last drop, and so while Hercules was no longer a god, he still retained his strength. Like that was the one thing. So I'm just wondering, is it that kind of a case where it was a partially?
No. I think more than likely the blood moon breaking
Mm-hmm.
is what's supposed to be the severing stones doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the blood moon curse originally would have gone the whole way and it closed,
Mm-hmm.
but because they're breaking it, they don't let the curse actually go through in when they're remembering it. So that's why the blood moon breaks.
I see.
That's how I understood it.
You mean in the sense of just the sense that their relationship isn't, damaged? Just.
Oh no. That's just the blood moon ritual
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, if you want to call it a ritual. So yeah, the whole thing is like in order for the curse to work,
Mm-hmm.
the thing has to close in. So the curse, in order to be broken, you break the thing that's making the curse,
Mm-hmm.
which is the moon. So it's like, okay, your curse is broken.
Mm-hmm. But what
So
about the
that's
light? Since it didn't,
that's
close up.
why that's where the light's coming from. So it's like, okay, if there's nothing for the light to come through,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no curse.
I see. Yeah. What did Andre just say? Also, Starco will always be life. Yes, and the curse was broken, but their feelings are still there.
Thank you. He gets what I'm
Amen.
trying to say. Yes. And I get what you're trying to say, friend.
Mm-hmm.
We are on the same page, man. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was Cornball. Next one. Ooh, this is a good episode. Meteora's lesson.
Oh, that
Mm-hmm.
was adorable. Meteor is so cute when she's not trying to kill everyone.
Mm-hmm. Or spin her neck in a 360.
I mean, I'm a horror fan, so I found that adorable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just when I see that, I instantly just think of the train spotting baby. You know
No,
when.
yeah, I thought straight up Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go old school.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that's where, when they were making trains, they got the idea. It's like, let's have the baby walk on the ceiling and have its head turn in a really creepy, like, sort of way.
Uh, though I feel like the way they do it with Meteora, it just reminds me so much of Reagan specifically because Reagan is like the one where you have like there's the one part where you see Meteora on the wall, but then
Mm-hmm.
there's also the part in this episode where you see her where she's like in the crib and she's laughing, and then
Mm-hmm.
her whole thing just goes like, and
Yeah.
that straight up reminds me of Reagan just like jeering at everyone from her bed, trying to
Mm-hmm.
like spew pea soup out of her mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely well, yeah, it was an adorable episode, but it was also a very insightful episode. I mean, we even get to see literally basically the first human princess get her wand.
Oh God, that was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
That was so random. Is that really how it happened? 'Cause that's trippy.
I would say that's how it happened. And the other interesting thing was
Wow.
notice that that yellow magic water, it was like all over the place. Like it was even covering the settlers.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. Which kind of makes me wonder, was Muni a place founded on people who just had their memories wiped?
That makes a lot of sense.
Kind of seems kind of, creepy in a sense. It's like, they just completely forgot it because
Yeah, it
of the
definitely
magic.
does seem
Yeah.
creepy. I mean, that was why I was all weirded out by the whole thing, because then it's like Glossaric is just chill as heck, like, oh, geez, I gotta do this. And I'm
Hmm.
like, whoa, 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 wait, isn't that like meddling with the way things are supposed to happen or something? Because like, I wouldn't mess with that.
Yeah, I don't know about meddling, but
Either
yeah.
that or something happened that wasn't supposed to happen, and that gets me really concerned. And I'm like, what?
Hmm. Yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, okay, as for the episode itself, and then I'm wondering though, because they go to a point where we meet younger Toffee, and also we discover that Rastakor actually basically worked with Toffee, and Baby Meteora takes her down. The first time we see her dip down and use her laser eyes, the first time since the season 3 finale.
That was adorable.
Hmm.
I loved that. That
Like,
was awesome.
it just kind of makes me wonder, was the point of that? I mean, I was talking with my sister earlier and she disagrees, but I'm wondering, was the point of that to get, Meteora to know whose side she's on and know who her main enemy is?
It's hard to tell. Because
Yeah.
it's Glossaric. We have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Glossaric tends to be extremely selfish.
Yeah.
Though he kept telling Meteor that he was fine, but low key, I feel like he's like, yeah, I'm gonna screw with this guy. Gonna
Mm-hmm.
throw this like demonic baby at him, see how he likes it.
Yeah. I also mentioned this earlier to you that it seems like Glossaric is like trying to like hurry Meteora up and get her dipping down as soon as possible because, in the past episodes, Moon and Star didn't learn to dip down until they were like in their teens. I think Moon said she was 19 and Star was 14 the first time she dipped down.
Yeah, yeah, that's really early.
Hmm. I even remember there was some people on Instagram because people uploaded clips from this episode of Glossric trying to get Meteor to dip down, and they were like, "Come on, she's just a baby."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I
Yeah.
was tripping out in that sense too. I'm like, well, she's just a baby. Though part of me is thinking, and I know I mentioned this last night because we were catching up last night,
Mm-hmm.
um, that we do also have to consider that Meteor this isn't necessarily Meteor starting off completely as a baby.
No.
Like she wasn't just born. There was some sort of magical aspect that turned her back into a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to keep that in mind. Um, the other thing is that they always say that starting off younger actually makes for better results. So there is also that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really hard to tell where they're going with this.
Yeah, other than it just seems like, because didn't Glossric once say he knows everything that's going to happen or something like that?
And by the looks of it, it seems like he knows because he's the one who instigates it.
Mm-hmm. So there's this kind of sense of urgency of, oh my god, it's so crazy that, you have to get Meteora to dip down as soon as she can. You can't wait for her to grow up again.
Well, more than him in a hurry for it, he's like, okay, this is how it's going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Because he seems really chill about it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem to be a hurry. It's just sort of kind of happening that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now we get to the point of the episode that we briefly mentioned, and that is Reynaldo.
Reynaldo! I felt really bad for Reynaldo because
Mm-hmm.
cause Glossaric just steps all over him.
Mm-hmm.
And his son.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do sympathize with him. I'm kind of like, wait, he's his son? Like, how does that work? Is he like an adopted child or what?
I don't know. I think he like created him somehow or something.
Perhaps. Why am I getting Blade Runner vibes thinking of that?
Oh my god.
Although, mind you, I don't think we're gonna get an episode where Reynaldo gouges Glossaric's eyes out. As tempting as it may be for some people who can't stand Glossaric.
Oh yeah.
But but Growth's series aside, I just wanted to point out, it's not that I hate him or anything, it just he like 90% of his lines are spoken in like a riddle or a rhyme.
And oddly enough, I have no problem with it. Like I was just showed like, okay, that's a deal. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, it's just that, like, I'm a very, to the point person, of like, I guess I'm a person who, always takes in the Shakespeare saying brevity is the soul of wit. And I'm just like, just please get to the point. So I'm just like, when I, see a character, I'm like, it's not that, I wasn't like, this guy, he's so annoying. It was just more like, okay, please move on. Like that kind of a thing. So it's not that
like, oh.
Yeah, so it's not that I hate Reynaldo, it's just like, I'm just like, oh, please get to the point, dude.
Well,
But
that's the thing. He wasn't really saying anything that was like where he really needed to be to the point. So I was fine with it.
Yeah.
He was pretty much just saying, oh, okay, we're going this way. Okay, we're going that way. And so to spice it up a little bit, he made it a little more eloquent, which I can respect.
Yeah.
You gotta keep up the showmanship. Am I right?
Yeah, I suppose. But okay, so moving on to Night Shift.
Oh, geez.
Which is, I'm surprised this episode. This one, unlike Curse the Blood Moon, this one, when I first heard about Night Shift, that was the one that actually kind of scared me.
Oh, what?
Because you know what happens? It turns out that Marco is not going to be living on Muni permanently. He's going back to Earth.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Now, on one level, I was like, oh, please don't do this again, because I was worried it was going to be like when he went back to Earth after the events of battle for Muni. When he tried to go back to Earth, but he was just so attached to Muni, he had to come back. Like,
oh.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, looking back, that episode honestly kind of ticked me off. Not only did Marco act really annoying in that episode, but just also, like, I'm just of the opinion, it's like, did they really think that Marco and Star were going to split ways permanently? Like, I just didn't like how they tried to set up a surprise, and it's just like, yeah, right, we know what you're up to. So I'm wondering, is it gonna be like that this time? Like, are they trying again?
No, because if I remember correctly, when it happened the first time, it was more so that Star was going away,
Mm-hmm.
and the other thing was that Star didn't necessarily want to.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that whole deal. But in this sense, Marco has some things that he's actually really invested in that he has to go back for. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. Not to mention that now they have the whole deal where they're trying to get out of the whole situation with their feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and how he pointed out that, he has a new baby sibling.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to need to help out more with the family.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of viable stuff for him to actually be going back. And you'd be like, okay, whatever, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. And he's even said that he
Plus, he
wants to
still
go to
plans to
college.
visit, unlike the other situation.
Yeah. So.
Because in the first situation, we didn't even know if Star was actually going to come around and visit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's none of that tension in this situation. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel this is perfectly fine. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be
Well,
worried
there
about
isn't
that.
that tension of they'll never see each other again. Like Star is even like, you promise you'll come back and visit all the time, and Marco's like, I promise.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm wondering if Marco's just more intimidated about the idea of doing one thing for the rest of his life. Like that's why he turned down the knighthood.
That could be it, though in his position, I would be too.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, it is intimidating, the idea of just doing one thing for the rest of your life. And that's also proof that Mr. Crandall, just really likes messing people up by scaring them into thinking you have to do this one thing for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that
Also,
was hilarious.
does it really, is getting your foot brushed by Crandall's hair, is that really a torture?
Well, Marco didn't seem to think so, so I guess not.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird. It's like that because like the reason he's torturing him is because all the knights are finding out, oh, Marco isn't picking a lifelong post, and now they're really angry at him.
Right.
Yeah, and also leads into that speech that Marco gives where they try to burn up the cape Star gives him, and he's like, if you so much as singe a single thread of patchwork, I swear your face will hit every surface in your room, and before you know it, you'll be in the belly of that dragon.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
So, yeah. And then the knights discover, and Marco tries to prove himself by saying, hey, I was in the Never Zone for a really really long time, and even the other knights try going in, and that character Higgs is like, yay, I'm back, and it's like, wait, I'm not buff anymore.
Oh, yeah. She finds there's nothing left for me here anymore.
Yeah. Sorry,
That
Higgs
line,
co-fans.
that made me laugh so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's that time. It is 5:58.
Oh, that's right. You have to take off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I can still keep going. For you guys. Wow, I didn't even notice the time, but
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep going. From here on out. You guys. So, thanks, Gabby, for coming on. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah,
If I can, I'll probably be chatting or something on the whole thing if it goes on for much longer. Well, I thought we covered a good chunk of
yeah. There's
everything.
still more episodes to talk about. So if you want to put in your quick thoughts on them, just go ahead and
Oh,
put
all
them in the
right,
live
all
chat.
right,
But
all
okay,
right.
so we'll take off from here. We'll see you next time, Gabby. Thanks for being on the stream.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so Gabby has taken off, but we'll keep going here. Let me just make some adjustments to make it a one-person stream now. Because yeah, I honestly didn't notice the time was passing so fast. I guess that's just me being an adult. Just in terms of when you get older, time just seems to go really really fast. It's a really true thing. if for the people that are watching that may be quite a bit younger. But okay, so we left off on Night Shift. There is of course that scene at the very end of Night Shift where um Marco gives Star a cape and basically telling her that if there's any lifelong post he has to accept, it's their friendship. And when they sort of huddle together, people point out that their shadows make like a heart shape, and that even when Star and Marco together, the patterns of their capes make kind of heart shape, and even when their heads are together, make a sort of heart shape. Which, yeah, that's kind of fan theory right there. It might be a hint, like it could be a hint that Star and Marco are gonna romantically get together at some point. Andre says it does. I'll believe it when it becomes super, super canon, like when in the show's finale, if Star and Marco do get together romantically. It would honestly be a really sweet send off, don't you think? Just in terms of the idea of you got to see Marco and Star be friends throughout the series, and now they can go off, and now they're, romantically interested in each other's. The series ends with them going into this whole new part of their lives, which they sort of got the um they sort of got their toe in the water a bit throughout the series, more than a few times, like when they kissed in the Booth Buddies episode, and of course the Blood Moon Ball. But I think it would be a really, really sweet send off. Andre, what did you say? Let's just hope they make Starco Canon Beach Day, or at least push it hard on it. For me though, like, I get what you're saying, Andre. It would be neat if we can have a few more episodes. I think I even said in a previous episode, it would be interesting if they ended Star, because if you guys know the show Avatar: The Last Airbender, the series ends with the two lead characters, Aang and Katara, sharing a kiss. Like, there's quite a few shows that end with two characters finally getting together and sharing a kiss. Even Danny Phantom sort of did that. It wasn't at the very end, but Danny and Sam, they shared a kiss very close to the end of the episode, and the episode ends with them flying together. So I think it definitely would be pretty cool though if we did get a few episodes of them being together, rather than just ending it off, with a kiss or something. So, but either way, I personally think I'm down. Okay, so next episode is Queen Nap. That one threw me off so bad. Like, I legitimately thought that Eclipsa was getting kidnapped. If anything, it was kind of a bad joke in a sense, but I do think it shows that Ponyhead has the best of intentions. Because in that episode, Eclipsa is kidnapped, and they're like, where are they? So Star, Marco, and Jano go through multiple dimensions trying to find her. I believe they went to the underworld. They also went to the one with Larry Kelpbottom, and they just can't find Eclipsa. And then they come to this the place where they make those compact cell phones, and it turns out that this whole thing was just a setup to get them humans watching this whole thing on their phones. It's actually a continuation of the Ponyhead show. Oh, Jeffrey, hello. What did you say? Well, if I can add my 2 cents on this, I think Darren wants to see Star and Marco have a relationship that is slow and steady. That's probably where it's going. And yeah, it's honestly, that's where it's been, I would say, all along. Because their relationship, I do like the idea that it's not just they get together and they spend season after season, as boyfriend and girlfriend. I do like they kind of take a little bit more of a realistic approach where it's kind of awkward, but they're still friends, and it's very slowly developing. So in that sense, I think it's definitely really, really cool. But yeah, as much as I think it was kind of a bad joke that Ponyhead wanted to do this whole, inciting drama to get Eclipsa popular, the good news is it does show that Ponyhead has the best of intentions. And yeah, even the people watching are starting to like Eclipsa. Eclipsa is going on camera and waving at the people. So I think that's definitely pretty cool. So I thought overall it was definitely a twist I couldn't see coming, so I'll give them credit for that. It's just, I guess I was just kind of ticked off in the sense of, wow, this seemed like it was going to be a really big thing, but it's not. But I don't know. Andre, what'd you say? Les, Hope, Jeffrey. I just wish we could see episodes of them as a couple. Like I said, Andre, I think that would be really cool too. Guys, I'm gonna go use the restroom for a second, so I'll be right back. All right. Um, can't. Okay. Hey, this is weird. So I tried plugging my headphones back in. Not that I need them since Gabby has left the chat. I don't know. Oh, it's so weird. Sometimes when I plug my headphones back into my computer, it makes this horrible like buzzing sound. Like, let's see if I could replicate it. Yeah, I I don't know how well you guys could hear it, but in my headphones, it's making this really horrible buzzing sound. So for the rest of this chat, I'm gonna go without headphones. Not that it really matters. But yeah, I was saying that Queen Nap was a pretty fun episode. Well, I mean, I guess me being as mad as I was, it's just kind of a sign of how invested I was in the episode. But I will say it was a pretty good twist, and I guess you could give credit in the sense of, I was saying before Ponyhead could get obnoxious at times. It does show that her heart is in the right place, and she does technically want to help Eclipsa. It was kind of funny though, maybe because I'm a social media person who Andre, that sounds awful. You're talking about the buzzing from my computer? Yeah. Jeffrey could be grounding issues with the connector. That could be one reason for it. Usually restarting, I mean, I'm not going to restart my computer since if I restart my computer, I have to start the chat again. Usually just restarting it, makes the issue go away. But yeah, it's really annoying whenever that happens. But let's just focus on the episode here. So give them a lot of credit. So yeah, that is Queen Napped. Okay, Junkin Jana, which that name is a really weird name. But yeah, that episode, reason it's called that is mainly because apparently Jana just loves to go sledding on these giant night boots. Like they look like something part of a statue where and she brings along Tom. Funny enough, the main reason Jana brings Tom along was well, I think it's kind of unclear to me. I think one of the things Jana wanted to do is try to get Tom to not just be constantly texting Star the whole time, and they still have this like weird relationship going on. It's weird. I mean, aren't Tom and Star technically broken up? But yet, why are they still acting like they're still together? I mean, I even remember in the Curse the Blood Moon episode when Marco comes into Star's room, Tom like puts his arm on like Star. I'm just like, you two still dating? And I'm just like, I don't know. It's really weird. Blame it on the that episode where they go to the underworld and meet Tom's family. 100 say the episodes, but yeah, it's weird though because I didn't really see the episode. Like a lot of people thought it was going to be the episode where Tom is going to slowly start moving away from Star and maybe even starting a relationship with Jana. And honestly, I think even Gabby mentioned this before. It would be. I think it would make a whole lot of sense, just in terms of well, the first thing is that Tom and Jana are both into really demony kind of dark magic things, and I would say their personalities are a good match. Jana is the kind of chill sort of character who has a very whatever attitude, and whereas Tom tends to be the more eccentric of the pair, and I think that creates some really good synergy. So yeah, so I think that definitely it could definitely work out for them. But I took this episode more just in terms of their just kind of hanging out with each other and things like that. What did Jeffrey say? I think the relationship with Tom and Star was due to that dance Queen Moon required them to make sure the kingdoms were stable. I think that's what got them back together. I think you're talking about the Silver Bell Ball, and that's what kind of reignited their relationship. But will it last? I can't say for sure. So I thought their interactions were alright. I will say there were a couple of scenes of, I guess you could say, ship baiting, like the scene where Jana, the thing is, we find out that, actually, let's go back to, what was that episode? The Ghost of Butterfly Castle episode for a second, because in that episode, when Moon discovers Mina has this like really freaky crow, and it turns out that this crow has some really super strength. It's got this really scary eye, and it can turn into like this really gigantic, really scary version of itself, kind of like Mina herself. So I guess it makes sense. I believe was the crow's name Sebastian or something like that, or I don't know. If you guys can remember, please let me know in the live chat. But yeah, so we discover that the boot that Jana was riding around was actually um mainly because is Mina wanted to assemble this really gigantic armor. What did Andre say? Tom's heart was mainly because Star is only using Tom to run away from her feelings for Marco, and that episode settled it down. Yeah, I would definitely say so. And speaking of which, there is this kind of this other revelation going on with Star and Eclipsa in the Junk and Jan episode because Star and Eclipse are called to this meeting at the Magic High Commission where Sean, the security guard, by the way, I actually met the guy who voiced Sean at the Blood Moon Ball, and he was definitely a really chill guy. And of course, they're playing around with how Sean's donuts taste really, really awful. They're making um, um, making Eclipse tear up, and she's just having a really hard time with them. So that's going on. The big revelation with Star and Eclipse scene is that it turns out somebody in the Monster Temple is using magic that hasn't been used for years, and they don't know who's using it. Like they say that it isn't coming from a living queen or that sort of a thing. So that's definitely something to think about. Um, Jeffrey, yes, it was probably another experiment from Solaria, likely. Are you talking about the assembling of the armor? Which, yeah, I'm honestly thinking. I'm wondering, is Mina making like a new armor for herself, for like when she goes into her scary gigantic form? Which I honestly think that's going on. Maybe we'll also see a thing where like she tries to maybe try to get a band of like radical humans to try to suit up and take down Eclipsa and that sort of a thing. That might even come in the coronation episode for all we know, since I'm not saying I want to see Eclipsa get taken down. I'm just saying in Mina's perspective, that's a pretty good place to, get at her. Because, when she's in front and center of the public and all that. So yeah. So Junk and Jana was honestly kind of an awkward episode for me. Like I did technically like seeing Jana and Tom interact. My sister just passed by. But anyway, I'm really scared she's gonna come back. But yeah, but I thought it was an okay episode with some pretty big revelations. And oh, hey, we actually got to the last episode, or the latest episode before the one that is coming out tomorrow. A Spell with No Name, where we discover it's another Spider with a Top Hat episode, which I'll say full disclosure, I haven't been the biggest fan of the episodes that focus on the spells and Spider with a Top Hat. Like, I remember the first time we saw the Spider with a top hat. What did Andre say? Mina is doing a rat army like Ludo, but with crows. Maybe I'm not really sure. I have to I have to read into more Solaria's section, but I'm wondering if her plan is going to be much more closer to that. I'm not really sure about crows though. If somebody has read the Solaria's chapter of the Magic Book of Spells, please let me know what you think. But anyway, Spell with No Name. It turns out that it's kind of an awkward episode in the sense that it does what did Jeffrey say? I would suspect that because they were also a part of King Shastakan with Mina defended before Globgor ate him and likely murdered Solaria. This Mina is taking revenge of their deaths. The revenge part I definitely think could be a really big thing. But so yeah, so basically throughout this episode, so we get to see Eclipsa spells. There's some pretty big things. It turns out that each of the prior queen spells, they live in their own rooms within the dimension. I think it's still in the wand though. But yeah, so they basically live in their own rooms. I guess it's kind of like apartments anyway. Like there's an apartment for, moon spells. They briefly reference that, and they have these, all the other rooms. But the focus of the episode Might even be a recipe. What if it turns out in the finale they have to use spells from all the former queens? Andre points out, yeah, I definitely remember. It's funny how Mina loves Celeria but hates her daughter Eclipsa. What would Celeria say? What if it turns out it's a case where at first Mina liked Eclipsa, but then when Eclipsa started learning dark magic and getting into all these things, like falling in love with Globgor and things like that, that's when Mina's focus started to turn, and she didn't like how um, Eclipsa had this good relationship with the monsters, going as far as to fall in love with one, you know. So I honestly think that's what's going on. It may seem kind of strange, but I think the issue is that at first, Mina liked Solaria, but I mean, Mina liked Eclipsa, but as time went on, because of changes, she ended up switching sides. So yeah, and funny enough, when I first heard the title of A Spell with No Name, I actually first thought that it was going to be about a scary spell we've never heard of before. But at least according to Roundtable, I was briefly watching one of their Muni Mayhem episodes. It's more about the spell that you remember the spell that Moon used to try to kill Toffee, and they said that it was that one, and I think it may well be because when you see the spell goes around, you could see it in my thumbnail. It's a butterfly with this. I think it's a skull. Let me double check. Yeah, it's this butterfly with a skull in the center, and when it hits one of Eclipse's spells, the um the spell just totally disappeared. Like it's dead. It's not coming back. When I first saw the episode, I thought, oh my god, it's a spell that is able to kill spells. But come to think of it, yeah, I have to agree with the round table on that. I think it's definitely the spell that Moon tried to use to try to kill Toffee. I guess I didn't think of it as a spell with no name because there is a certain chant you have to say. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's a spell where Moon has to say, to dark night, pillage my soul and crush my heart and all those things. Yeah, so I think that's definitely the spell. And in the end, Eclipse's spells manage to contain it, put it in a jar. Although I don't think it's the last we'll ever see of that spell. Funny thing about that spell is you can't see it with the naked eye. Like even Eclipse's spells, they have to wave around this worm, this green worm that glows to be able to see it. And the Norwal is able to see that spell, and I think that's why they basically made him the protagonist of that episode. He has echo vision, so he's able to see it. So even though they were able to contain it and put it in a jar, or I have a feeling that spell is definitely going to come back. I think it's kind of like the spell that was briefly mentioned in the Junkin Jan episode. The spell that has been used for years. I imagine that the killing spell is one that is just kind of hidden away. I mean, because even in the show itself, we haven't seen it used all that much. Like we saw, I think the magic book spells mentioned that Eclipsa, used it once or something like that. But we've seen Moon use it twice. Once as a kid, and that's why Toffee's finger got chopped off. And she tried using it again in Battle for Muni when we all thought Star was dead. But of course, it didn't come to fruition. Okay, Jefferson Hermosa Alvarado says Starco forever. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Keep the faith going. I still have a lot of faith in Starco, as I've been saying since the beginning of this discussion. Jeffrey says he's got to get going. I'll see you later, Jeffrey. I hope you have a good time when you come to California. It's been kind of warm lately, so please dress accordingly. And then Andre Perez is the word luck. I'm not really sure what that's referencing to, Andre. So it's kind of an awkward episode in the sense that the protagonist is basically somebody that we don't like. Yes, we see Star use the Norwal Blast a lot. It's one of her favorite spells to use, but we don't really, as a character, we don't see Norwal that much. But it says power Starco forever. Jefferson, can you see? I don't want to move my camera too much, but I'm such a Starco shipper that I even have the Starco flag plastered on my wall, as you can see there. So yeah. What was I saying? Andre, hey, where can I get a print of that flag? Andre, I'm the thing about it is this is actually I designed this as a fan design flag, so I can't this isn't like something you could buy online. If you want, I can send you a copy of the flag. Do I follow? I think I know you from Twitter, I think, so maybe we can arrange something so that I can send you a copy. And if you want to do something like what me and my sis did here, where we put it on a stick and waving it around like it's a legitimate country flag, that's totally up to you. So maybe we could talk about this over Twitter. So yeah, so I would say overall that is the latest Star episodes. I mean, so yeah, I think I know of you from Twitter, Andre. So I'll send you a copy of the Starco flag if you want to get it. But yeah, those are the Starco episodes, the Star episodes, going from Yada Yada Berries all the way to Spell with No Name. Like I said before, I apologize for not getting to these earlier. It was kind of a very strange process because at first I thought that me and Gabby were going to discuss all the episodes together, ever since, that's how we started off doing it. Me, Gabby, and our friend Steven are big fans of Star vs. the Force of Evil, and so that's how we thought it was going to be. And, lately, Gabby's been busy at school, and then very recently, I had this idea of maybe I should just go back to, actually, I think one of my first discussions of season 4, or was me just talking about the episodes all on my own. So, we'll cross bridges as we get to them. I know new Star episodes are coming out tomorrow, or if you use the Disney Now app and have a cable subscription, maybe it could come out tonight at like midnight or something after midnight. So, yeah, I'm probably going to be busy tomorrow because of Easter. I can't. I'm hoping to discuss these episodes with my cousin because she's a bit of a casual Star fan, so I can't wait to talk about them with her. But it's definitely been really fun. I thank you guys for, especially if you've been hanging around for the past 2.5 hours. I'm hoping future discussions will be quite a bit shorter. I hope that I can do a discussion where we solely talk about the episodes that are coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow's episodes are, I know the Coronation is one, and that's why there has been that teaser with Globgor, and we're getting to hear what he sounds like. What were the other two? There was the other one, a boy and his, let's see. There's a boy and his DC 700XZ. I'm wondering if that's referencing Nachos. And then there's the Monster and the Queen, which is, I think that's the one that they've been teasing, the one where we see Globgor and Eclipsa together. Funny enough, Globgor has been locked up all this time, and the reason Eclipsa doesn't want to free him any sooner, she is kind of stopping herself from freeing him sooner, is because she wants to earn the humans' trust, and they don't, and she's thinking that she and Star are thinking that if Globgor is set free, that could scare the humans. Maybe not Globgor intentionally, but with how the humans are very anti-monster. So I'm wondering what's gonna make Globgor come out. Like, Like, I was wondering, they might even keep him later on deep into the finale, or they might even save him for the coronation video. So I'm very curious to see how is he going to be set free, and if it's another character setting him free, what's the occasion? Because when Eclipsa was set free, she basically set herself free by herself. So I don't know. And the thing about the crystal is that the crystal that Romulus uses to crystallize Globulor is very hard to unfreeze. You know, the only person that could unfreeze him is Globulor, or in the case of Eclipsa, Eclipsa was able to free herself. So I'm very curious to see how it will go. Hopefully, it'll be done in a very well written way. I'll read a few more of the live chat comments here. Andre says, "This was great. Thank you for this." Well, thank you for watching, Andre. I'm really glad you decided to come out. And then Jefferson Hermosa Alvarado says, "Marco Diaz, the champion in the Pokemon League, and I want to recover this Blood Moon Ball and his friend Glycin or Midnight form." Not really sure what's going on there, but the Blood Moon Ball has definitely been great. So I thank you guys for coming out here to, get into making videos in a very similar style of mine for her own YouTube channel, which you guys can go check out. I highly recommend. So far, Gaby mainly does like music covers on her YouTube channel, and she occasionally does like film analysis videos and posts her own short films. But this might even be a good opportunity for her to just do a video on the episode she didn't get to talk about. And I'd really like to see her form her own channel at some point as we continue to work together. So, yeah, so thank you guys for coming out. Hopefully I'll be able to discuss the tomorrow's Star episodes, regardless of who's here, we will discuss them. So thank you guys for joining us. As I say, hey, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you guys for watching.